evening, everyone.
Good evening.
This is Minister Joe Stevens and Coach Irene Stevens, and we are bringing you another segment as promised.
Another one.
Happy Friday to you, and hope you have had a wonderful week and that you will have a great upcoming weekend.
Yes.
Our topic for today is nothing changes if nothing changes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one?
It is.
All right, so we're going to jump right into nothing changes if nothing changes. So as usual, please like, share, comment, ask questions, give us a call, whatever you need to do. And we appreciate it. We're going to talk about this from a personal perspective, how it pertains to the world, and then we're going to jump right into the Bible. So hang in there with us. All right, so nothing changes if nothing changes simply means that to achieve different results or growth, you must take new actions, break old patterns, and actively initiate change, as staying the same will only lead to staying in the same situation. All right? Same situation. Which goes back to nothing changes if nothing changes. All right? So, everybody, this is a call. This is a call for me, you, and everybody that you know to in order to move from complacency, you have to take concrete steps, understanding that personal transformation requires consistent effort and new behaviors to create lasting improvements. I'm going to say that again. Personal transformation requires consistent effort and new behaviors in order to create lasting improvements. All right, so let's talk about some actions. How do we do that? Stop waiting for things to improve on their own. They're just not going to improve on their own.
Right.
And start doing the work. Stop waiting. Start doing. Learn a new skill. Or you may have to change your environment. Right? I've had to change some of my environments from time to time. We have to break old habits. If we want a new physique, for instance, we want or a new mindset, or a new life, we must change our daily behaviors and our daily routines. So we have to have a mindset shift, a whole shift, meaning we have to change our internal thoughts and behaviors to manifest external changes.
And oftentimes we don't make those necessary changes because we're oftentimes not humble enough to admit that we are the ones in the situation that need to change. So be honest with yourself. Take some accountability for yourself and say, I need to make some changes if I want, this situation to change, or if I want this circumstance to change.
Mm-hmm. Accountability is a good word. I mean, it's needed. Mm-hmm. It's needed in our families. It's needed on our jobs. It's just needed everywhere. And if you don't realize that you're taking accountability or responsibility for your actions, then you need to have a mindset change. All right. So let's talk some examples. Feeling stuck in your job, for instance. You have to change your routine. You have to learn a new skill, learn a new trade. I changed my whole skill set. I had transferable skills, but I changed from financial management analyst for like 26 years over to facilitating and teaching and coaching. So that's what I did the last few years of my retirement. So it's never too late to change or to go back to school or to get educated on a new skill. You may have to even update your resume.
Yeah.
Right? Struggling with addiction. Could be addicted to gambling. It could be cigarettes, smoking, sex. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Right.
Then you may need to attend some meetings, change your social circles, and adopt new coping mechanisms, right? may be addicted to cursing. Some people like to curse. You may not feel like it's an addiction, but if we don't change, nothing changes. Or if you want a better physique, I think I talked about it earlier. We have to change our diets and our exercise habits if we want a different physique. We aren't going to look like Beyonce if we sit down with macaroni and cheese, steak, potatoes, broccoli, and not just one plate, but 2 or 3 plates, and it's piled up to here. We're never going to look like Beyonce doing that. And then we don't exercise, right? So, in essence, the phrase is a direct reminder that our life's trajectory depends on the choices and the actions we take today, and inaction maintains the status quo. You got anything to say?
I think we need to go.
Keep going?
Yeah.
All right.
Get on the good part.
All right, so we're getting on the good part. The Bible is the good part for him. So we're going to jump right into the Bible. In Romans 12:12, this is the renewal of the mind. This verse directly calls for transformation through the renewing of our mind, highlighting that new thinking leads to new actions. So in Romans 12:12, I'll read it. I'm coming from the New International Version. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will.
Yeah, so oftentimes we settle in our usual routine, or if we got a goal, we try to mimic the steps that that someone else takes, and God wants us to think for ourselves, and a renewing of our mind, because our journey may not have the same path as someone else's journey. So we get exhausted in our efforts when our situation or the outcome doesn't turn out the way someone else's did, and we took the same steps, or took the same studies and bought the same materials as someone else did to try to get to that same goal. And God wants us to use our mind, use our heart, use the gifts that He gave us, and let Him bless us and allow us to let Him bless us and allow Him to be our God and light in whatever it is we're trying to do.
Because He's a God that doesn't keep anything away from anybody.
Yeah.
He gives him gifts, He gives me gifts, He gives you gifts. It's what we do with it, that matters. It's how we go about doing it.
Yeah.
Do not be envious of how someone else got somewhere, because you really don't know what the struggles are that they had to go through.
Exactly.
Do your thing with what God has given you.
Yeah.
That's why it says, do not conform to the pattern of this world. Right? Here we go. So in Ephesians, next one. Ephesians, putting off the old self. So in this, Paul urges believers to put off your old self and put on a new one, stressing that Christian life involves active participation, not passivity. Now I'm going to read it for you. In Ephesians 4:22 through 24, coming from the New International Version, you were taught with regard to your former way of life to put off your old self, which is being corrupted by its deceitful desires. Verse 23, to be made new in the attitude of your minds, and to put on the new self, created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness. Keep going?
Keep going.
All right. So we're going to go next to Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 through 8. So this passage, in summation, lists various seasons, illustrating that life involves cycles and change, and people must adapt their actions. We must adapt our actions. Weeping and laughing, war and peace, rather than remaining stuck in one state. I'm saying again, stuck in one state. And And I don't mean the United States. I mean the state of being, the state of unchanged. So, Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. A time for everything. There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to uproot. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to tear down and a time to build. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to scatter stones and a time to gather them. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to search and a time to give up. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to fear and a time to mend. A time to be silent and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time for war and a time for peace.
Yeah, so the key word in all that is time. Whether it's your time or time for something, for someone else or something else, or it's time for you to make a change, or you need to take the time, the necessary time to make those changes. Because the one thing that you're going to experience, no matter what in life, is the pain of it. It hurts to make change. It hurts to stay dormant in the situation you're in. You'll go through pain for example, if you begin to exercise, you'll go through pain. You'll go through pain if you don't exercise and continue to deal with the elements of your body. You just got to choose what pain are you going to deal with. What circumstance are you going to deal with? Are you going to stay dormant in the painful situation that you're in, or are you going to go through the pain that is going to take the travail forward out of that situation?
Exactly. Yeah. If you ever notice, if you decide you're going to start on an exercise regimen and you haven't done any exercise in a while, those muscles the next day after you exercise, if not the next day, the very next day for sure, they're going to ache. They're going to hurt, right? Because you've worked muscles that you hadn't worked before. But if you keep going at it, your muscles will get used to it, and then you will start to see change.
Yes.
But if we don't, as he said, some of us will develop ailments, high blood pressure, sugar diabetes, whatever, and obesity. So there's a time for everything. And this may be your time. I know it's my time.
Yeah.
All right, so action over desire. Just mere wanting change is not enough. We can't just want change and just sit back and wait for it to happen. It's not going to change. It requires concrete actions, steps, and new patterns of behavior. You have to give your honest evaluation. You have to recognize where you are stuck. First, you have to recognize where you are stuck. Don't recognize where I'm stuck. Recognize where you're stuck.
Yes.
Be willing to make difficult choices that are essential for your growth. All right? And then God grants free will to everybody. So while he guides, individuals must ultimately choose to follow and act on his calling for transformation and change.
So there's a song that says, "Nothing from nothing leaves nothing." Meaning, if you do nothing, you're sure to get nothing. That's a guarantee. That's the one guarantee in life. You do nothing, you'll get nothing. The word tells us in St. Matthew chapter 7, verse 7, ask and it shall be given you. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door shall be open unto you. So not even God's going to do anything for you unless you do something beyond his grace and mercy. But when we're talking about moving forward out of our situation, out of our circumstance, we're asking God to bless us with something. He wants to know, what are we going to do, so that he knows that that's something that we want. If we don't take action on what it is that we're asking and believing God for, then nothing's going to happen. We got to give something. We got to put something forward. Beyond our belief, beyond our faith. Faith without works is dead. So have the faith, but have the works too.
Exactly. And what do you know about nothing from nothing leaves nothing? How does he know about that song?
Yeah, hey, I know the song.
Well, how about the song, change has come over me, right? I don't know who sang it, maybe Tremaine Hawkins, I'm not sure. What a wonderful change has come over me.
Yeah.
He changed my life, and now I'm free, right? So we could come up with all the song lyrics in the world. We could come up with all the cliches. Bottom line is, nothing changes if nothing changes. So we are asking you, if there's any changes that you need to do in your life, it's not too late. But you got to move forward. You got to be determined to move forward. Change that mindset. Take steps to change.
Absolutely.
All right. We good?
We are good.
All right. Have a wonderful weekend.
Yes, enjoy
God
your weekend.
bless you.
God bless you.
We'll see you next week.